It's 392 lean.
What's going on, y'all? It's your girl 392 Lean, and today I murdered out my taillights with Lux Auto Light Wrap in a dark smoke colorway. And so first you want to do is cut out, see here, cut out part of the light right there, because you're doing it in parts. You're not going to do the whole light. And so the tools, I'm sorry, my camera's doing the gangster lean. I'm going to put all that down in the link in the description, but you'll see the tools that I'll be using as I go along with installing the light wrap. Not gonna lie, it was kind of tedious, but I got it done. I did good for my first time. So first what you want to do is, the light wrap comes with some alcohol prep spray. So see here, getting all the tools together, spraying. So spraying on that light. See, I'm doing part of the light, I'm not doing the whole, because that's the only section piece that we're going to be working on for right now. So go ahead, wipe that away, wipe it up good. See, it took me a minute, like I was trying to get it nice and clean because I was already outside. And unfortunately, in the barracks, they don't have like a real good covered area, so I was outside just making it happen. So then go ahead and get a heat gun. Like I said, everything that I use is going to be in the link in the description. So now that I finally got it together, go ahead, dry all what you sprayed on there, dry it off with the heat gun. Make sure we have a clean, sterile surface. And I was blow drying and wiping at the same time. Like I said, get that clean, sterile surface. You don't want anything to be under there while you're installing this taillight tint. It's gonna look gross. You don't want that. So next, after you're done wiping and blow drying, make sure you have a sterile surface. Go ahead and get this knifeless tape or wrap tape, whatever you want to call it. This tape has a filament in it, so after I'm done laying it down, I can take that little filament piece and pull it up. And then after I'm done pulling out the filament piece, we'll go ahead and get the rest of the tape, the adhesive part. So like I said, sorry my camera's doing the gangster lean, but see, I started out, I made sure I had enough room to pull the tape up, so a good 3, 4, 5, I want to say probably like, yeah, 3 or 4 inches for where you need to pull up. As you can see, I'm going around the light. Like I said, this was kind of tedious, so you want to make sure you're actually going around the edge of the light and not so much, we're not focused on the black part of where we're going to place our tint, because it's already black. We're just focused on the red part. So go ahead, make sure you're laying it the way you want to lay. As you can see here, it took me a couple pulling up and laying down because I want that perfect cut when I pull that filament piece out the tape. So like I said, so I'm going about 3 to 4 inches onto the next part of the light so you can have enough room to pull up that filament. So go ahead, get some scissors and cut the rest of that off. So now you see that I got it laid down, got it laid perfectly how I want it. Next you go ahead and get that heat gun again, dry it off, make sure that everything is sticking on there. You don't want your tape coming up while you're laying down your tint. So I made sure that it was sticking on there correctly with the heat gun and heating it up. So after we're done heating it up, wipe it down again. Like I said, I'm outside, so everything's flying everywhere. Getting it sterile and clean as I can get it. Making sure that tape is laid down too. Rub my fingers around it. So next you get your tint, and then we'll go ahead and start laying it down. So now you want to go ahead and start laying your tint. As you can see, I started in the middle. I made that crease in the middle because that's what you want to start with first, and then we work our way outwards with the squeegee. Again, all those bubbles, you can definitely pull up and move it around. That's what it's made for, to move around even with bubbles. So the squeegee definitely helps. As you can see here, I'm laying it down, pulling up, getting that crease in the center over there too. It's a little hard, but you'll definitely have to pull up and put it back down and just smooth it around with your fingers. You want to use not a lot of heat when you're actually placing it, so you don't stretch the material too much. In the end, you'll see when I finally heat it up. Right here, we're just pulling up, squeegeeing everything, making it look nice and smooth. And make sure when you're laying the tint as well that you're going over your knifeless tape, because that's when you're going to go ahead and pull up your filament, and you want to make that clean cut along the tint. So make sure you're heating that up and laying that down as well. So as you see here, I went ahead, heated it up. Now I'm pulling the filament that's in that tape that's cutting it. And you just go ahead, you get that smooth cut all around that filament, and then go ahead and pull up the rest of the tape. So now I'm pulling the rest of the tint that's around it. Look at that. After you pull the tape, some of the tint is going to come up with the tape. It's fine. Literally, as you can see, I'm just rubbing my fingers and laying it down. It lays down perfectly, no problems. Just make sure that you lay it all down so you don't get any pullback in the end, because we're doing this is longevity here. So after that, I go ahead, heat up the rest of it, making sure everything is sticking properly and adhering to my light. So you do that for a few seconds. Lastly, what you want to do, go ahead, lift your trunk up. Excuse all the junk in my trunk.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Don't look at the trunk. What you want to do is get your knife. You want to cut off the extra piece on the side of that light. And you can also lay it down as well. Cut extra what's on there and then lay it down and heat it up so it sticks on there as well. You don't see any red. You want these lights completely murdered out. Light still shines through, of course, but sitting like that, it doesn't like you have any type of lights. Like, it looks sleek, beautiful. So you want to make sure you get all the extra pieces off, making it look nice and clean. So I'm now done cutting all the extra pieces on the side of the light. So we're done with that first part of the light. Now we'll go ahead and move into the second part. Look how sleek that looks. That looks really, really good. For my first time, I think I did okay. But we're gonna go ahead and start on this second part of the light, and I'll see y'all when I'm done. As you can see here, I finished the right light, and this is the light's arm in the daytime. That's how it looks. It still shines through. It's a little darker, of course, but still shines through. And now this is with both lights done. Look at that, incognito, you feel me? It looks great. It looks really, really good. Like I said, this is my first time doing it. As you can see, I locked the car. You can still see the lights. But yeah, this is my first time doing it, and came out great, you feel me?